Welcome to edition 11 of Truster.tv. On the show today, two Welsh artists, one singing in Welsh, one singing in English. Some cool left field sounds from the east of Scotland. We've got an Australian duo who now live in London. We've got a British singer who's leaving her Greek island to go and study in Manchester, and a whole lot more besides, including the most live lockdown tracks we've had on a single edition of the show. We're kicking off. It is the Welshman Geraint Rhys, his second time on the show, with a video for a fantastic new single called Diolch. It's Geraint Rhys.
good soul. Down I go where the river goes. My faith is hard to follow. My faith is hard to follow. My faith is hard to follow. The pain cuts deep, my pace is slow. Got my feet on a darkest road. Depend my bones, this crip and goes. My faith is hard to follow. My faith is hard to follow. My faith is hard to follow. At least I tried, one day I'll know what went on deep down below. My heart is strong so that you know. My faith is hard to follow. My faith is hard to follow. My faith is hard to follow. We'll pay the price for the wincing soul. If I don't make it home till the sun goes low, free to wait, don't let her fly above. Our faith is hard to follow. 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 To follow. To follow. To follow. Our faith is hard to follow.
Well, that was the super talented Logan J. Parker with the video for her song, My Faith is Hard to Follow. Next up, we've got the Australian duo Fenderly, now living respectively in London and Winchester, playing live in lockdown with a stripped back version of their new single, which is called Get Over It. It's Fenderly.
But this is serious. How did we let things get so out of hand? Complacency don't help. Leave it to someone else. You can't complain if things don't go as planned. Why should should I have to just get over it? Why should I have to make the best of it? We have to find some other way out of this. Find a way out of this. Find a way out of this. I'm out of this. If I'm wrong, then help me to see the light. Everything is clear now. This land inside. If I'm wrong, then tell me. I'll make it right. I'm making my last stand. You call it love, I call it treachery. I got no place to go, just bars and traveling shows, and you're not worth the time it's taking me. Why should I have to just get over it? Why
track you just heard was more from his second time on the show for him. And he's an artist from Edinburgh, a track called Le Gomme. And before that, you heard Fenderline playing live in lockdown with an acoustic version of their new single, Get Over It. Well, next up, it's Miss Kitty from Bristol. Now, she's been on the show twice doing live lockdown performances, but this time it's an actual video for a song which is called Better Place, and it's from her album Kiss and Tell. This is Miss Kitty.
I was stealing away to a better place. I didn't want to leave any trace. The harrowing tales you were telling me got me so sick that I was empty. And every time I hear about this world, makes me feel smaller than a little girl. My only desire is to find the key and unlock the warrior inside me. Big friends cross the Atlantic. Love you, baby, and you're sycophantic. Personal traits got you making big bucks. Can't believe people made such a fuss. And every time I think about what you do, makes me feel like I wanna finish you. My only desire is to find the key and unlock the warrior inside me. Inside me, inside me. Let me show you a better place. Wanna take you to a better place. Inside me, inside me. Let me show you a better place. Wanna take you to a better place. Better place. Breaking us down with your extremes. So blinded, nobody knows what it means. Fighting for survival, but you don't see. None muscle that you need is changeability. And every time I think about what it takes, leaves me feeling like my heart's gonna break. My only desire is to find the key and unlock the warrior inside me. Inside me, inside me. Let me show you a better place. Wanna take you to a better place. Inside me, inside me. Let me show you a better place. Wanna take you to a better place. A better place. Well, in my better place, I don't see a face. It's clear water and everyone can have a taste. In my better place, nothing goes to waste. Nobody's sick, skinny, everyone can stuff their face. In my better place, in my head, everybody gets to sleep in a bed. But it's all make-believe, and when I wake up, I had to leave it inside me, inside me. Let me show you a better place. Wanna take you to a better place. Inside me, inside me. Let me show you a better place. Wanna take you to a better place. Inside me, inside me. Let me show you a better place. Wanna take you to a better place. Inside me, inside me. Let me show you a better place. Wanna take you to a better place. Inside me, inside me. Let me show you a better place. Wanna take you to a better
This next song is called Sunset Kids. I just finished writing this song and it should be coming out soon, so hopefully you guys can enjoy it. jackets and a deadly need to be seen. Is that what we're supposed to be? Someone we don't want to be, somebody that I can't recognize anymore. So much potential, I think I already know, but I wish it was too late. We're letting ourselves go, we call it a trend, so we don't have to feel alone again. So much potential, I think I already know, so I can say this now. We're letting ourselves go, we're letting ourselves go. Wish it was too late. Dum, da, dum, 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 I wish we could. I wish they could reach my soul.
Well, the video you just saw was the amazing young artist Hole, and that was a live lockdown version of the single that she had out recently called Sunset Kids. And she is actually leaving the Greek island of Kefalonia to come to Manchester. Well, I think already has come to Manchester probably to study at BIM, which is going to be a fantastic journey for her. And before that, you heard Miss Kitty with the video for her new single, which is Better Place. Well, next up, I'm very pleased to have Dorothy Bird. About a year and a half ago, the amazing Liverpool band Operation Lightfoot played a gig for me in one of my Vanishing Point promotions at the Ivy House in Peckham, and Dorothy Bird was the lead singer that evening. She has a wonderful voice, so I'm very pleased that we got her performing live at home in lockdown, and a track called Forgot. It's Dorothy Bird.
Glass hands see through hearts, tender faces shivering,
the lucid labyrinth of a compromised mind, shaking off the bacon, severing the rhyme, doing dabs of circumstance, lines of view and jive, wrestling with your neighbors on a perfect lawn of lies. Someone left graffiti underneath your family crest. It made your father angry, but your mother was impressed. Hiding in the wardrobe, there was nowhere to be found. You couldn't help but feel your children's books had let you down. Drink your baby formula, eat your Twinkie dreams. Don't let Satan overtake you, don't give in to nicotine. Oh David, don't believe the adverts unless they are selling you. In which case just turn a blind eye, really, what else can you do? Sometime in California, an earthquake did arrive. Sometime in California, an earthquake did arrive. It triggered a tsunami, barely anyone survived. It triggered a tsunami, barely anyone survived. Melting all hypocrisy, freezing how and why, sailing through apocalypse, ignoring all the signs, questioning reality and burning currency, sitting on the answers, playing games of wait and see. Matrix saw you acting out, administered the purge. You carry the resentment, your good name has been besmirched. She saw that you were lying when she turned on your TV. A thousand more solutions can save you, set you free. Drink your baby formula, eat your Twinkie dreams. Don't let Satan overtake you, don't give in to nicotine. Oh David, don't believe the adverts unless they are selling you. In which case just turn a blind eye, really, what else can you do? Sometime in California, an earthquake did arrive. Sometime in California, an earthquake did arrive. It triggered a tsunami, barely anyone survived. It triggered a tsunami, barely anyone survived. Barely anyone survived. Barely anyone survived. Barely anyone survived.
Well, the track you just heard was another fantastic Welsh artist, Bloca-Cola, and a song which recently topped the Track of the Week poll on my radio show called Tsunami. Well, next up, I'm very pleased to have Billy Brown from Friends of Gavin. I caught up with him for this interview. Billy, welcome to Trusted Doc TV.
Thank you very much. I'm very pleased to be here.
Want to tell us a little bit about how Friends of Gavin came about in the first place back in the day and how you ended up reforming?
It all started in Philip's bedroom at his mum's place, where he was going to play drums, Nick was going to play bass, and I said I could play guitar, but actually all I could play was Smoke on the Water on one string, the bass string, and a police car noise on two strings going nee, 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 and that was about it. And that was good enough, and I was in.
That would have got you on Revolver, wouldn't it, in 1978?
Yeah.
So this was what, late 80s or mid 80s?
No, God. I know I'm only 25, but it was early 80s.
Oh, okay, yeah. And was this when you were all still at school?
No, we'd all finished school. We were 18. Yeah, we were probably about 18 then. So, and that was it. And very quickly, we then got a place in Baker Street, 22 Baker Street, the basement of Young Motherhood. And that's where our first name, Styley 22, came from. And very quickly, we got gigs, and we got a manager, Bob Gold, who was running Wasted Talent, the agency that had REM and people like that all on their books. And before we knew it, we were supporting Hawkwind at Stonehenge, which was the most bizarre gig. Everybody was on acid, but we got 2 encores, so it must have been good. And yeah, we started playing all over the place and supporting the likes of REM, Boomtown Rats, The Damned, The Alarm, and Lindisfarne, Bo Diddley. It was quite bizarre. I don't like to name drop because it's not very cool. Mick Jagger told me that.
Well, I think you can name drop when you're actually telling a bit of the history about people you've played with. But yeah, I mean, fascinating stuff. I didn't actually realise that Bob Gold was from Wasted Talent. I remember Wasted Talent.
That's how it started. And then I did one of those stupid things. I got married and left the band, and the boys became Spiz Energy's band for a year, Spiz Sexual. But I still sort of dabbled in music. And then in 91 had that dance hit with Orchestra JB, which went on to loads of compilation albums as well as his album. And I just found out the other day that I don't £37.50 because it's been on Spotify, which we never gave permission for, and I've just earned £37.50 in royalties, which is great. So I'm now going to retire.
£37.50 in royalties from Spotify. That's a lot of streams. That's a huge amount of streams.
It is, but
it's done really well.
It's almost 30 years old, so it has had a fair amount of years to attain a few plays.
Yeah, although not on Spotify. Spotify hasn't been around for 30 years, has it? But,
no, that's true. But I think it also covers things like Amazon and Deezer and all those other things that it went on. But yeah, normally I get about 20 odd quid a year from royalties for it, and now I've got another £37.50. So I'm rolling in it. Drinks are on me.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Your pop royalty again. Let's talk just briefly about the name Friends of Gavin. It was named after, was it a road manager or something, or roadie or something?
Gavin was one of our mates and still is. He lives in America, and he actually came back for our comeback gig 2 years ago. But that's another story. I digress. But when we first started touring all over the country in transit vans, so literally there'll be 3 in the front, 2 of us in the back with the equipment, and Gavin would drive us. Or no, there'd be 3 in the back because there'd be Gavin there, so he would be our road manager. And he used to get people off stage in Lille and Rotterdam when people jumped up on stage to be with the band. He got them off, so he was a bloody good road manager. So we just thought, Friends of Gavin, why not?
Oh, so he was that guy. He was that guy that herds people off when they try and climb on stage.
Yeah, no, he was brilliant. We did use the name Dogs on Heat and also the Avenue. In fact, when we toured with the Alarm, we used to change our name quite regularly, and they used to have a laugh every show. So, what are you going to play as this tonight? So we constantly changed, and eventually we got some great reviews with Friends of Gavin. So we kept it with that in NME and Sounds and Melody Maker. So we thought, right, well, that's a good name. We'll stick with that.
I think that's very often the case, isn't it? When bands are going through different names, and then suddenly you get like something significant, like a review or airplay in a national show. You think, well, we better stick with that name now, hadn't we? Because otherwise, people won't know it's us.
Well, it worked. It was slightly left field, and who is Gavin? And Gavin's not in the band, so it sort of worked quite nicely.
Yeah, it's a good name. So I was talking to Bob, your manager, a couple of weeks ago, just discussing the campaign around the EP. And one of the things he said to me was that when he was first contacted and told that you were reforming, he just thought, not interested at all. What are they doing? But he said when he heard the new material, that really kind of changed his mind, particularly the song Roy, which obviously I've played a few times on my show and we'll be playing again next Saturday actually.
Thank you very much.
And your excellent cover of Scarborough Fair, of course, which, as you know, I'm very keen on. So it seems to me that maybe part of the secret of this reunion is that you are looking forward and not back, all new material and, kind of fresh sound and fresh ideas.
Yeah, I mean, when we did our 2 gigs in 2018, one of them was by chance because I was still doing solo stuff and I was offered a gig and we'd started rehearsing, and I said to the boys, what about Friends of Gavin doing the gig instead of just me? And they said, yes, we'll do it. And it was just 4 of us. Marcus lives in Morocco, so he couldn't do it. Richard, the keyboard player, didn't want to be part of it. So we got Marcus's brother, Simon, who was a keyboard player, so he did that one. the one in June, all 5 of us did, and Richard came on stage to do one song, you know, for old time's sake. And Spiz was there as well, so we did Where's Captain Kirk, because there was the Spiz connection as well. So yeah, well, but we did play at the gig. You know, we played some old Friends of Gavin songs. One of them, Basement Reggae, which was going to be released as a single but never was. And the old video is still on YouTube actually.
I've seen that. Yeah,
it's quite weird to watch. And that was a big crowd pleaser. And yeah, we played some new songs as well. We played Scarborough Fair. We played That's Where You Go, which is also on the EP. Roy, we hadn't written yet, and Hey You, we hadn't written yet either. So they weren't at the actual gig. But yeah, I mean, there are some old band songs I would love to do, and make them better if we can. But you know, similarly, we want to write new stuff. You know, we don't want to live in the past. We want to live for now and live for the future.
Absolutely, amen to that. And you're looking for a lead guitarist as well, aren't you?
We are looking for a lead guitarist because I can't play lead guitar to save my life. I can only play rhythm guitar. I'm completely self-taught. I couldn't read music if you shoved it in my face. Half the time I haven't got a clue what I'm playing. People have to tell me what I'm playing. I just play and just say, this is the song. I think it's in these chords because I've got the capo on the 4th fret or the 3rd fret or the 2nd fret. I think it's in C, but I really don't know, and someone has to tell me what I'm playing.
Well, to be fair, I mean, I speak as a classically trained musician, as you know, but a lot of the best musicians I know can't read a note of music. I don't think it actually makes any difference. Paul always jokes, Paul F. Cook, that when I've reviewed his tracks in my blog, and I explain what's going on, and I mention, you know, kind of elements of technique in terms of you know, things like, you know, moving the tonic to the dominant or using an extended chord. Or he always emails me and says, "Thanks for telling me what I did on my tracks. I didn't have a clue." I don't think it matters.
I can't even play bar chords. I just cannot play them. So I don't play bar chords. I pick with one finger, which sounds. I remember somebody reviewing a song I did when I was doing a solo stuff, and they gave me this sort of fantastic review about picking, and it's actually with one finger. Literally, I'm just picking with one finger in a sort of rhythm, and that seems to work. That's the only way I can play.
Fair enough then. So let's talk about what's going to happen then. So the EP is going to be coming out any day, imminently, yeah. And then the plan is obviously you're going to try and get some airplay, which you've been pretty good at doing anyway, haven't you? Getting airplay on quite a few radio stations.
I'm very good at making myself known to people and driving them crazy, and eventually they just say, all right, we'll play it, and that's the way to do it. So.
Yeah, so you wear them down with your constant enthusiasm.
Yeah,
so
that's probably a fair way of saying it.
Yeah, and then what, gigging in the new year?
Well, that would be nice. Obviously, no one knows what's going to happen with live music. Obviously, COVID has re-emerged and reared its ugly head again, which was inevitable because people are sadly very stupid. There was apparently in the news 400 people at a funeral. So, people can't be sensible for those sort of things. It's going to take years for it to go away, and unless they can come up with a treatment or a vaccine, it's going to be with us for a number of years, sadly. But So, live music is. I know lots of people do things via stream, which I'm not a huge fan of. But maybe we'll have to do a gig that way because there's no other way of doing it. Or you can do a gig. It'll be to a very limited amount of people. They'll have to stand, several meters back because you can. I think they're doing a test actually now on.
Yeah. Can I interrupt you on this, Billy? You do know that you do know that as a promoter, I've got a gig in 12 days' time at the Amersham Arms and another one 2 weeks later at Amp Studios. So gigs definitely are happening, and live music definitely has restarted and has been going since early September. The main difference is it's all seater and table service, and the tables obviously are 2 meters apart. But I mean, something like the Amersham Arms, okay, normally their capacity would be about 200, but they're still able to get 90 people in there, obeying all the COVID rules with, strict social distancing, table service, etc. And that's 90 customers in addition to the musicians.
Does the band get a table as well and table service?
No,
on
the
stage?
band actually are supposed to stay off stage and only come in when they're performing. So the band have to be in a kind of separate area from the rest of the people. But I mean, I suspect there's some leeway, and I haven't really talked through the full details with Andy about how everything will work. But you know, we're doing it. I'm not playing at it. I'm promoting it, but we got this gig in 12 days' time, 4 bands playing. I'll look at the other
But
thing,
with the latest COVID restrictions, that could all change very, very soon. They might say, well, actually, now you can't do live shows.
I don't think it's going to change in the next 10 days. And it's 10 p.m. closing is the other thing, obviously. And then we got another one on the 5th of November. So, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, at the moment, unless there is another moving of the goalposts, and bearing in mind it's moving all the time, at the moment we are able to have live music for the first time in 7 months, provided we are actually sticking, absolutely to the letter.
No, I'm sure you will, but it's a question of whether the government says, right, it's got too bad, so we're now going to have to do another lockdown, and sorry, that's it. No more pubs, no more restaurants, although I think opening up the pubs again was a ridiculous thing. But anyway, that's we're not here to discuss COVID.
No, although I agree with you. But yeah, I mean, obviously you're right that we don't know what will happen, and we could be plunged back into full lockdown again. That's absolutely possible. But, for the moment, there is the possibility there of live music. What will happen in the new year, I don't know. But I suspect there's been a lot of, the government themselves put a lot of effort into trying to persuade venues and entrepreneurs to come back out and start putting on events. So to then pull the rug from under us is a bit much, when we've gone out and taken all the financial risk and marketed events and, brought staff out of furlough, etc. So there has to be some common sense. So let's hope anyway.
Let's hope, exactly. We can only hope.
It will. Yeah, indeed. Well, either way, exciting news, and I think that there is a bit of momentum there, and I think definitely we will hear Friends of Gavin being played on a lot of radio stations, which is good news. So, just leaves you to say good luck with the EP. Ready?
Thank you.
Well, next up is a cracking new video from the Rumble Skulls and the song which is called Gentle.
Break open
Okay, so an Amongst the Pigeons live show wouldn't be complete without a couple of pigeon facts along the way. Did you know that pigeons' bones weigh less than their feathers? Did you know that pigeons can travel over 100 miles per hour and over a distance of over 1,000 miles? If you did, you're doing well. Did you also know that pigeons were used in the war, both for keeping peace and for aiding war, which no one likes? But many, many pigeons, including ones that worked for the British Navy, are honoured in a park in Worthing. If you haven't been before, go check it out.
Well, only the second time that we've had somebody DJing live in lockdown on the show. That was Amongst the Pigeons and a track which is called Friday Night Begins. And before that, you had the video for the Rumble Skulls and Gentle. Well, next up, it's Luke writing Cobbler. This one should wake you up if you're feeling sleepy. It's called Back at the End Again.
Whimper, pot belly like a cup. Scroll through everything you know you'll never have. Picture your partner happy, shutting the door in your face. Let it loop like a gift. Your child be thrown in the air, but a well-told answer a better man. Your mother, drunk, shitting herself at sports day. Go fix Croydon gambling, wanking the train toilets. Go on, it's your birthday. Back at the end again. Back at the end again. So come on, meet me. There's a Shell garage on the South Circular, a Burger King at Thurrock services, a month of Tuesday evenings in November, they'd be perfect. Let's finger each other like 15-year-olds, bash teeth with morning breath. Let's talk about the sofas we'll own in our 40s, our dream sofas, our forever sofas. Back at the end again. Back at the end again. Spend the Easter bank holiday weekend with a dozen TV agents and some bloke you assume to be their dealer. Cheer up, Kit Harington is on the One Show. Hasn't he done well? Look at Kit Harington. He was in that thing, you know, that thing. Look at Kit Harington. Then plunder yourself for parts. Back at the end again. Back at the end again. So snap that elastic band in the post office queue at parents' evening in the flickering gloom of the village film club. Julia Hartley Brewer's here with a strap-on. Go on, you know you want to. You can be your own optimism and she'll be Julia Hartley Brewer. Submit like you always do. No one hates you, mate. No one's even noticed. Back at the end again. Back at the end again. There are tailbacks for miles in both directions. Feel the heft of your gut, the spot on your pubis. Pull your ugliest face, stare into the toilet bowl. Smell the panic seeping from your armpits. Submit to the sugar tax, keep on glugging. That's it, keep on glugging. Rub your tongue over your furry teeth. Picture yourself as a 4-year-old, squinting into the sunlight, holding your little spade. So unspoiled, so sweet. That's it, good boy, right there. Weep.
Cracking performance there from Luke Wright and Cobbler with the song Back at the End Again. Well, it's been a while since we had Fast Trains on the show, since when they've been going around winning awards for videos. So I'm very pleased to say that my next interview guest on the show is Tom Wells from Fast Trains. Well, I'm very pleased to welcome onto the show Tom Wells of Fast Trains. Tom, welcome to Trusteddoc.TV.
Thanks very much. Thanks for having me.
So
here I am in my flat, which is looking very like John Lennon's white room on this video. I think there is stuff in here, honestly.
It looks quite sort of minimal here, sort of white, shadows.
How I live my life, to be fair.
I can see light above you in shadows.
Yes, absolutely. I shut all the shutters and everything. Yeah.
Yeah. So, what's happening with Fast Trains at the moment? And presumably with live music just starting to look like it's a thing again. Are you planning to get out and play now?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, what happened for us was because obviously Fast Trains is just myself, but then I have a live band that there's 5 of us when we go out live. And we just started in January. We played one festival and then did our own first headline show. And then obviously everything hit sort of February, March time. And I've been itching to get back out and do it again. They were our first shows. It's almost like being a year behind, isn't it? And everybody's lost out a little bit. But yeah, with it looking like it's going to open up now, I've got potentially gig clashes coming up because everything's getting moved to sort of like April and March and May, isn't it? And I had other things booked and that's all been moved to that time. So it's really exciting. And I think when people are able to go to gigs again, I think there's going to be a real demand for that because people are itching to get out there. Well, I hope so anyway. Because
well, it's interesting you say that. I've got my first, as a promoter, my first gig since March in 2 weeks today.
That's amazing.
15th of October at the Amersham Arms, Trusted Doc Live, and
that's right, yeah.
4 bands and artists, and then another one on the 5th of November at Amp Studios. So it's kind of, I mean, already these venues are they're already open, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, yeah, that's it. So yeah, I'm itching to get back out again. I think where we're at the moment, I've got new music coming November. And then big release sort of March, April next year, and that all kind of ties in together with that. So yeah, I'm itching to do it. We're in band rehearsals now, just in case something comes in, because we're like, if something came in for the end of the year, we'd love to do it. So yeah, it might well happen. It might well happen. Let's hope so.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, what I will say is the venues that I'm working with are working tirelessly to make sure they meet all the COVID guidance. I mean, it's quite. You know, we had a bit of frustration last week because having gone out and done all the promo for the gig, we then discovered the 10 p.m. closing was coming in, so we then had to go and redo all the promo, change all the running times and everything. But at least at the moment, you know, the gigs are still on, and so unless there's like a plunge back into really strict lockdown, my assumption is live music for the moment is a thing, albeit all seated and table service and early closing, but at least it's live music.
Absolutely. My thing I've been looking at this winter, I think, is to create a show that's more suited to that kind of seated space, because we're a quite a loud kind of band, but where this project is just me, I could potentially do just a one-man version and a bit more intimate, just in case next year these things don't happen. So that's something I definitely need to work on this winter, is working out how I can make that exciting in itself, just carrying a one-person show.
Yeah, well, I mean, speaking to somebody who's done that, I mean, I used to perform on my own, literally with a synth, a mini mixing desk, and a laptop. And I loved it because it gave me the freedom to just shove everything in the shoulder bag, jump on the bus and go and do a gig. I mean, it was amazing. But I was talking in an interview in the last edition of this show with Darren Lawrence from Leg Puppy, and he was talking about the possibility of going and doing some gigs where literally he just sets up with a laptop and a bit of gear and just goes and does the gig on his own. I think people are more used to that now.
Yeah, absolutely. And, it's live music, and it's still a platform for us to get out and showcase new songs and new material and stuff. And actually, it might be better from a kind of songwriter point of view to have it all stripped back down, to have it down to acoustic or piano, whatever it may be, is going to showcase the songs potentially better than something, that's full band and live and loud.
Yeah, and you can still have backing tracks on a laptop. You don't.
That's true. Yeah, Yeah, it doesn't have to be so sort of minimal, does it? So there's plenty of options. If anything, there's too many options, and that's what I struggle with, because I sort of I need to just hone in on one way of doing things. It took me a long time. It took me about a year to work out how I was going to do Fast Trains live, and I was tearing my hair out last year because of this exact conundrum of do I go out and do it with a laptop and electronics and then just front it, or do I get because we use quite a lot of animation and visual stuff in the things that I do. I was like, do I do that and just have a screen in front of me and I'm behind it? Almost like a Gorillaz early days thing that they did. Or go really simple with it and just do acoustic guitar and stuff. And in the end, I got fed up with sort of trying to second guess myself and just got a load of musicians in a room that I liked, and just went, let's just play some versions of the songs and see what comes out. And I absolutely loved it. I really enjoyed seeing where they would push and pull the songs, just having those kind of improvisational elements in there. Hence the live show is very different to the records, but I love that. I think that's really interesting.
I've always thought that when you go and see a band or artist live, it shouldn't just sound like a rerun of the record. Otherwise, that's incredibly boring, isn't
Stay
it?
at home, stay at home and listen to the album. Yeah, I'm kind of in the Hendrix world where when he played live, it was a very different experience to how the records sounded. I've always loved that. I always thought they're two different mediums, aren't they? Two different art forms. So they should be different. I like it when bands go. But bands don't take many risks, I would say, these days, particularly with backing tracks and that kind of thing. So it's nice when I see a band go off, and sometimes it goes wrong, and that's exciting as well. So yeah, I like it. A little bit of danger.
You can really have a better template for live risk-taking than Jimi Hendrix, could you? I mean,
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah, you don't know whether you're going to get a 2-minute version or a 25-minute version, and I like that though. I think that's really interesting to me. And you're at the end of the day, you're going to watch. Yes, you'd like to go and see the songs that you like, but you are going to watch the musicians, and I will try my best in the bands to let those musicians be themselves and stretch out, take it where they want to take it, and I'll just be the person standing at the front. But I'm very much indebted to how they want to take it, really.
I think, live music is about performance, isn't it? And that can mean a lot of things. So it could be that you have the musicians on stage because you want to do the kind of proper live guitar band kind of approach. Or equally, if you are going to perform on your own or just two people, having things like the slideshow, for instance, that adds a visual element that isn't just watching people. That can also be really interesting. And I've seen some of the gigs I've put on, I've seen artists do that where they've been on their own on the stage with a great big slideshow going on behind them. And it's actually been great to watch. So
absolutely.
I think, there isn't a right or wrong way to do it. I just think whatever you're doing, you always want to have an eye on the fact that the audience has got to sit through it. And,
I think, I absolutely love shows when it's I'm trying to think of an example. Someone like Mark Morris from the Blue Tones, where he'll just do just him on acoustic guitar, and he's just great company, and an hour's gone in a flash, and you haven't even thought about it. And to be able to command the stage like that, stripping it right back, to me is amazing. I don't have the ability to do that. Well, it's just years of doing it, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen some great solo artists who've been able to do that, where they've just been them and the guitar. I've forgotten the woman's name, but woman who was in the Magic Numbers, I saw her do a live last year. She was amazing. Or going back to when I was young and going to gigs, Billy Bragg used to be fantastic. But his secret was always that he played like he did have a band behind him, even though he didn't.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, he bashed the songs out, didn't it?
Yeah.
It's that thing again. I remember going to see Julian Cope and having the same sort of thing, and it was just him with his electric guitar or whatever, and but you just enjoy being in the company of them, and they're just warm, like it's the chat in between is as important as the songs and that kind of thing, which is one way to go about it. And likewise, I love shows when it's just a mad visual, and I love going to DJs and stuff like that if the visual's really interesting. And
it's interesting.
Right, wrong way. Yeah.
I was listening to Radcliffe and McConey on Six Music at the weekend, and Stuart McConey was saying Van Morrison had been tweeting about how he was desperate to get out and play live again, and really missing the whole camaraderie. And then he went and did a gig, and he said he spoke once in 25 minutes just to say thanks for coming out.
Right. Yeah.
Exactly was it you missed about the camaraderie?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's like no atmosphere. It's just self-indulgent nowadays. I kind of like it in a strange way, but yeah. So let's talk about the visual stuff, because you've won awards, haven't you, for your videos? Yeah, so we did the first. Originally, what we were going to do with Fast Trains, it was going to be a 4-part animation series. And they're going to be 4 songs, basically, set to animation with I met a guy a couple of years ago called Sam Brandon, and he's just an amazing illustrator, animator. And we made the first video, which is Measure by Measure, which you've already shown on Trust the Doc on a previous one, actually. And so we did that, and the idea was to make 4 of those, but that one took us about a year and nearly killed us. It was so much work. We just really didn't appreciate how much work it was going to be. So yeah, but the visual bit has become just as important, and especially where the music is only available on YouTube, there's always going to be a visual that goes with it, and we've had a lot of fun playing with that. And so yeah, that video, as we were saying, yeah, it went off to, it's now been played, I think it's 7 countries now, film festivals, and yeah, it's picked up awards and stuff like that. It's been amazing how far it's gone. It was a labour of love, and I'm pleased that it's picked, you know, that it's been well received, because a lot of work went into it, and on Sam's part, really.
It's a great video. I was really impressed when I saw it.
It's a beautiful thing, and it's all hand drawn, and yeah, that's why it took so long. Like each second is 24 hand drawn images, and yes, it was something that we went, that's brilliant, but never again. You know, we still use bits of animation, we use loops, and like we'll find a visual that might be 10 or 15 seconds loop round or something, and I'd love to make more of them, but I think you need a team to be doing things like that. Like, I don't know how many people are doing the guerrilla stuff, but a lot of people, because
a band who I interviewed the singer of a band called Liar Liar on an earlier edition of this show, and her band had a video that had CGI stuff in it, but again, it wasn't all CGI. I mean, she kind of starred in the video, but they had all these kind of CGI shapes flying past her and stuff like that. I don't know how long that kind of thing takes to do, but I imagine it's not easy.
I've not got a clue, and that's one of the nice things actually, is I've never seen Sam working on any of the illustration. I've never seen him draw, I don't think so. But we work on stuff all the time. He's working on things for me at the moment, and I'm just so excited because I have no idea how he does it. But I kind of have an inkling of how the animation kind of works, but I kind of don't want to know. I feel like it would ruin the magic if I saw how much effort goes into it. I just like to see things taking shape, and yeah, and it's become for us so important because we've got this idea of creating this world around it all, and these characters, and there's a coded language that runs through all the videos and the songs and the social media and stuff like that. And it's become, yeah, just to me, as I love things like code breaking things and cryptic crosswords and all those kind of things. So it's been really fun to kind of tease people and put hidden messages and things. There's loads in that Measure by Measure video of fun things that only me and Sam know they're in there. It's just great.
That must be one of the only things that I miss about having a 9-to-5 job, was doing the cryptic crossword on the train going into work in the morning.
I do the Metro one in the morning, yeah.
For me, it was probably the Independent or the Guardian, but
that's too difficult for me. No.
Yeah. So anyway, before we wrap this up, let's talk about the singer. Now you've got you're planning to put 4 tracks out kind of staggered, aren't you, over time? The first one out in November. So what's the plan there?
Yeah, so we've got a new EP, which I'll be talking lots about on the socials in the next few weeks. But yeah, it's a 4-track EP, and we're going to do a track in November, and then probably February, March, April. April being the launch gig, and there's going to be something nice and physical that goes with that as well, and obviously really nice artwork from Sam and all that kind of thing. So yeah, they're all kind of thematically linked, these songs as well. They're all about bigger topics. I can talk about the first one. The first one's a song called The English Way, and it's about men's mental health and how we have this English notion of stiff upper lip and you know, not sharing our feelings, and how damaging that can actually be. And so the song's all about that, and that whole thing of, you know, just shrugging it off and sweeping it under the carpet and not really talking about things is really damaging, and it needs to be, you know, to be addressed. And it is, and there's some great charities doing some really good work with it, you know, Mind and people like that. But yeah, that's what the song's about. And so that, yeah, but hopefully that, you know, each song is quite a big topic like that, but hopefully they're addressed in, if I've done my job right, in a positive and I'm trying to find the right word. Obviously, it's late at night when we're recording this. I'm tired, but you know, in a way that's endearing and is not for the sake of, you know, it's not going to cause, it's not an offensive take on it. I'm trying to find the right word. I can't find the right. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
You know what I mean? Yeah. If
mean,
I've done my job
mental
right.
health is a subject very close to my heart, and it was
Right.
one of the commitments I gave to the Arts Council was that I would, you know, make a point of supporting artists with mental health issues. And one of the things I've found through being a Fresh in the Net moderator, through doing my blog, and latterly through things like the radio show, is the astonishing number of really talented artists out there who've got crippling mental health issues. They can't even go and do gigs, and you know, and are losing out really, because you know, gigs, for instance, are one of the ways you can make money from selling merchandise, and so they're cut off from a lot of those processes. It's a, you know, it is a big problem, and it's something we need to talk much more about. So glad that you are addressing that.
Yeah, that's it. And it's, I don't know, I've just come, since starting this, I've been trying to think of our kind of role as being songwriters, and you do need to address these topics that I clearly aren't very good at talking about, but I can put it into a song, and I can, you know, that's the beauty of songwriting, isn't it? Is that you can put things in there that you find things difficult to talk about. And that song, you know, isn't particularly autobiographical, but they always have a little part comes back to yourself, doesn't it? You know, so yeah, it's nice that we've got a platform where we can talk about these things and things that need to be addressed like that. So yeah,
brilliant. So the single's out in what, early November?
Yeah, I should have the date memorised really, shouldn't I? Yeah, it's early to mid-November, and obviously on my socials I'll be talking about that lots and lots and lots, and it will only be out on YouTube. It won't be on Spotify or Amazon or anything like that.
But there will be an MP3 version for me to play on my radio.
There'll be an MP3 version, yes, absolutely. You can download the MP3s from, you know, the website, and you can, as I said, there will be a physical thing as well, which I'm sure I can get a copy to you of.
Yeah, well, I think that I'm thinking in terms of being able to play it on the radio show.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, I will definitely sort that out.
And we've got a video coming up now that we're showing of you. So what's the story with this one?
Yes, we started a new series on YouTube. I've now filmed 3 of them. Only one's out, and the other 2 are coming out over the next sort of 6 months with that campaign. And it's a series called the Hourglass Sessions, and basically they're live videos, live performance videos in sort of unusual, quirky locations. And I bought the Hourglass. In fact, I've got it here. That's handy. I bought this at the start of last year. This nice little hourglass, and it's 5 minutes. It's 5 minutes long, and the whole idea behind the series is that the hourglass turns, and I've got 5 minutes to create a performance and to build it up and see where it goes. And so the video that you're about to show, the one of Sea Change, which was recorded at Mayfield Studios, actually down in Portsmouth, and that was about that. And it's myself performing a one-man version. I think we filmed it in about February, March. So it was about lockdowns, that kind of time. And yeah, it was really interesting. It's all one take, so you can see the hourglass kind of ticking away as the song's being performed. And they're really fun to make, and it means you can stretch a song out, because I think the song's about 3 minutes. You can stretch it out and take it somewhere different, but you can't go too far and get lost in it. You've still got a deadline, and which I think is really interesting and a nice way of going about creating something a bit different and a bit more visual again.
Brilliant. Well, we're going to see the video now. So Tom, thanks ever so much for being on Trusted Doc TV. And this is the video for, remind me of the title again, it's Sea
Change. Yeah, I should have said that, shouldn't I? Yeah, Sea Change, yeah. Thanks, it's much appreciated. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, you're very welcome. Well, this is then the video for Fast Trains playing live, and it's Sea Change.
the sea change. Now you're running from 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 the sea change.
Well, that is all we have time for in edition 11 of Trusted Doc TV. We'll be back in 2 weeks' time on the 20th of October with another mouth-watering lineup of live lockdown tracks, videos, interviews and chat. If you're able to tune in, tomorrow night is the Trusted Doc Extra midweek pre-recorded show on XRL-FM with an hour of mostly new music. And then on Saturday at 5 p.m, also on XRL-FM, it's the Trusted Doc radio show, live and interactive with me, playing lots of new music, both by new and emerging artists, and some by slightly more familiar names, and a few classics that are linked to features. Either way, until then, take care everybody, and see you soon.